The observation deck of the research station Wayfarer's Reach hung in silent orbit above the emerald world of Keeler Prime. Stars glimmered beyond the curved glass, cold and distant. Inside, the only sound was the faint hum of life support systems and the irregular, frustrated clicking of alien mandibles. Dr. Elias Trent stood patiently beside the medical couch, hands clasped behind his back, posture relaxed. He had learned quickly that sudden movements startled the station's newest resident. The alien on the couch was tall, once anyway. Now it lay partly reclined, bound gently by soft magnetic restraints to prevent falls. Its forearms twitched in helpless irritation. Its chitinous exoskeleton shimmered like obsidian dusted with blue frost. One of its arms lifted weakly, attempting to push Elias away. The attempt barely nudged him. Elias only smiled. "You're getting stronger," he said warmly. "Yesterday, you couldn't lift that arm at all." The alien's compound eyes glowed with fury and fear. A voice translator clipped to its thorax sputtered to life, converting the buzzing clicks into rough human speech. "Stay away, human." Elias pulled up a stool and sat anyway. "My name's Elias. You can call me doctor if you want, or Elias. Whatever makes you comfortable." "I do not want comfortable. I want gone." Elias chuckled softly.
"Yeah,
I figured." The alien tried again to push him away, trembling. It failed again. Its limbs dropped, exhausted. Its species was known as the Verethi, an ancient warrior civilization feared across 3 sectors. Their soldiers were massive, fast, nearly unstoppable. But this one was broken. Found drifting in a wrecked escape pod near the edge of human territory. Alone. Half dead. Paralyzed from neural trauma. Terrified. When the rescue crew had brought it aboard, the station's defense teams wanted it locked away. Some wanted it euthanized. The Verethi had raised colonies in the past. Mercy was considered foolish. But Elias had stood in front of the medical board and said something very human. "If we abandon compassion because we're afraid, then we're no better than the monsters we fear." So now he sat here, day after day, talking to an alien who hated him for caring. At first, communication had been impossible. The Verethi's translator only activated after neural stabilization. During those first weeks, Elias simply sat beside the bed and spoke anyway. About Earth sunsets. About ocean waves. About coffee that tasted awful but felt like home. About nothing and everything. He didn't know if the alien understood, but he talked, because humans were stubborn like that. Today, something changed. The alien's translator crackled again. "Why do you stay?" Elias blinked. "Because you're here." "That is not answer." "Sure it is. You needed help. I help." The alien's eyes dimmed. "Your kind fear mine." "Correct." "Yes." "You should fear me." "Probably," Elias admitted. "But I don't." "Why?" Elias leaned back, considering. "Because fear doesn't fix broken bones. Or broken people. Or broken aliens." The Verethi went still. Very still. Elias recognized the silence. Not anger this time. Curiosity. Days turned into weeks. Physical therapy began. Small movements. Finger flexing. Arm rotations. Neural stimulation pulses. Each session ended the same way. The alien tried to shove Elias away, failed, and hissed in frustration. Each time, Elias stayed, smiling, encouraging. One day, during a particularly exhausting session, the alien's arm collapsed midair. Its breathing hitched, not from pain, from shame. "I was commander," it said quietly. "I led fleets. I broke worlds. I was terror." Elias wiped sweat from the alien's brow with a damp cloth. And now, I cannot even push human away. Elias smiled softly. Then maybe it's time you learn something new.
What?
How to let someone stay. The alien turned its head away, mandibles trembling. But it didn't tell him to leave. 3 months later, the Varethi could stand. Not well, not steadily, but it stood, towering over Elias, shaking with effort. The observation deck lights gleamed off its polished exoskeleton. It lifted one arm again.
Not weakly this time.
It placed its palm against Elias's chest. A real push this time. Elias slid back a step. The alien's eyes widened. I pushed you, it said. Yes, Elias said, grinning. Congratulations. The Varethi lowered its arms slowly. Then why still here? Elias folded his arms. Because you don't want me gone anymore. Silence. Then the translator whispered. Correct. That night, alarms blared through the station. An unknown warship had entered orbit. Varethi design. Weapon ports opening. Energy signatures charging. The station crew scrambled. Defense drones launched. Shields raised. Panic spread like wildfire. Elias ran to the medical deck. The Varethi stood at the viewport, staring at the enemy vessel. My people, it said quietly. They come to retrieve me. Or finish me. Elias swallowed. Can you move? Yes. Can you fight? The alien looked down at its still trembling legs. Maybe. Elias placed a hand on its massive arm. Then let's show them something they've never seen. Minutes later, the docking corridor doors hissed open as armored Varethi soldiers stormed in, rifles raised. Commander Vareth, one of them barked. By decree of the Hive Throne, you are to return for judgment. Vareth, the paralyzed alien, stepped forward. I will not, Vareth said. You are broken, unfit. You will come. Vareth's arms spread slightly, uncertain but ready. The soldiers raised their weapons. Before they could fire, Elias stepped in front of Vareth. A small human. No armor. No weapon. Just a doctor. The soldiers hesitated. Vareth looked down at Elias, confused. Elias smiled up at the towering alien.
Told you, he said.
I stay. Something inside Vareth shifted. A spark long buried. With a roar, Vareth lunged. Not with the brutality of old wars, but with purpose. Controlled. Focused. Human training mixed with alien strength. The corridor erupted into chaos. Energy bolts scorched walls. Metal screamed. But Vareth moved faster than ever before, driven by something new. Not conquest. Protection. Minutes later, the invaders lay bound on the floor. Station security arrived, wide-eyed. Vareth stood over them, breathing hard. Shaking but standing. Elias patted its leg. See, Elias said, you didn't need to push me away to be strong. Vareth looked down. I did not. The next morning, the warship retreated. Word would spread. A Varethi commander rescued by humans. Healed by humans. Who chose not to return. Diplomacy began. Cautiously. Fearfully. But with hope. On the observation deck, Elias poured 2 cups of coffee. One for himself. One uselessly placed beside Vareth, who still couldn't drink it. Vareth stared out at the stars. I once believed strength meant standing alone, Vareth said. Elias sipped his coffee. Most people do. But you stayed, Vareth said. When I tried to push you away. When I could not move. When I hated you. Elias shrugged. Humans are stubborn. Vareth turned its glowing eyes toward him. I am grateful. Elias smiled. And for the first time, Varath did not try to push him away. The warship withdrew into the void, its threat fading into distant starlight. Silence returned to Wayfarer's reach. On the observation deck, Varath stood beside Elias. No restraints, no fear. The alien's once trembling limbs now rested steady at its sides. "You stayed," Varath said, "even when I tried to drive you away." Elias leaned against the glass, gazing at the planet below. "That's what humans do. We stay." Varath considered this, then inclined its massive head, a gesture of respect once reserved only for warriors of its kind. "Then I will stay too," it said. "Not as conqueror, not as weapon, but as ally." Elias smiled. Somewhere among the stars, two species took their first step toward a future neither had expected. And it began with a paralyzed alien who could not push a human away. If you want, I can lock this style and length as your default ending format for future stories so your videos stay consistent.